cold and miserable outside. Once you have successfully navigated that slick sidewalk, how about coming into a nice hot bowl of chili? Certainly could do the trick for warming you up. Chef Mikey Price of New York's Market Table Restaurant is here with 3 varieties of the classic dish, and I think you have an entire studio salivating because it smells so good and warm and inviting on a day like today.
It's a good day for chili.
It is, so thanks for coming in for us. There are so many, though, types of chili. It's like barbecue. You know, depending on where you're from, that's the type of chili you like.
Absolutely. We're going to start out making a Texas chili. And kind of the thing about Texas chili is usually not made with beans or tomato, which is different than most other chilies.
Than a lot of people, but it is made with plenty of meat. This is a beef chili.
Yep.
So when you're looking at the meat, before we even get started on making it, what type of meat is this going to be made with? Or which cut, I should say?
You're looking for something that's going to be a little bit less expensive, like a chuck or a rump roast. Sirloin would work well. Something that, because it's going to cook for about 2.5 hours, so you really want to braise it down. Something that's going to have a lot of flavor to it and cooks down well and kind of almost falls apart at the end.
It almost falls apart. You need a little bit of fat in there, too, for the flavor and to keep it moist so it doesn't get dry,
That way,
right?
when it sautés up, make it nice and brown. Really good.
All right, perfect. So let's get cooking because I'm ready to eat.
I've got a little bit of onions and garlic sauté with bacon here. And then the next thing we're going to add is the spices.
Okay.
And we've got a little bit of chili powder.
I was going to say we got to have the chili powder,
Chili
right?
powder. Some sweet paprika.
Wait, so is there a difference? Because in the store you just see paprika a lot of times.
Usually, if it just has paprika, it's the sweet paprika.
It's the sweet kind, okay.
Because they do sell hot, which, but we're going to add some cayenne pepper for the heat.
We'll cover that with a cayenne pepper, okay.
And then we're going to add a little bit of Mexican oregano.
Mexican oregano. Now, where do you find that, as opposed to regular oregano?
Usually, it's in the dried spice section.
Okay, easy to find.
And then we're going to add our chopped up meat.
There we go.
This is actually chuck.
Okay, and I can see some marbling in there, so you can tell it's going to have some good flavor to it.
Most definitely. That little bit of that fat will cook out, get into the sauce, and make it nice and flavorful.
Okay, and the great thing, of course, about chili, you mentioned when you pick the meat, it has to be something that can, hang out in there for a couple of hours. That's the beauty of it, too, is it sits on your stove, warms up the house. That smell, there's nothing like it.
There's nothing like that smell of chili.
So how long, so we get all this in here. You've got a little stock, right?
We got a little bit of beef stock we're going to add.
Okay.
Along with some beer. A couple of cans of beer inside.
And you went with the Schlitz.
Schlitz, yeah.
I like it. It's classic styling over there.
It was between that and Old Milwaukee's Best.
I was going to say the Beast, as we used to call it.
The Beast, that's
growing up, when I was 21, of course.
And then we've got a little bit of chopped chipotle peppers, which we're going to add a little bit of that kind of
spice there.
Smoked heat flavor as well.
And then I'm seeing right here, is this cornmeal?
It is cornmeal. And what we're going to do is mix that with a little bit of warm water.
Okay.
And that's going to create what you would call a masa. And this is going to be after the meat cooks for about 2.5, 3 hours. You're going to use this to actually kind of thicken the gravy that's around the meat. So after this would cook, you would go ahead and add that.
Then we would add that in.
And that would be used as a thickening agent to the stock.
And then we would end up with what's in this beautiful pot right here, correct?
Right. Oh, which is nice and cooked down. You get that kind of brown flavor to it.
Can I sneak a piece of meat out of here?
Absolutely.
Is that all right with you?
It's a little warm.
It's all right. I'll cool it off because it smells incredible. Okay, I'm going to do a little test here. We're also making a vegetarian option this morning, right?
Right. So just like starting with the Texas style chili, we've got a little bit of onions and garlic that we're going to saute, and then we have a plethora of vegetables.
Pretty
carrots.
much every vegetable you can imagine is on this table here.
And if it's not here, you could add it.
You could add it. You don't want it to get too soft, though. So how do you know how long to put those vegetables in? Because unlike the meat, they can't sit in there forever, right?
Right. This definitely has a shorter cooking time, whereas the Texas-style chili will be about 2.5 hours. This is going to be about 45 minutes.
Okay.
And what you're going to do is you're going to add the harder vegetables first, i.e. The carrots, the celery, the parsnips, that kind of stuff. So we're going to add that in.
Harder vegetables first, and we're going to have to move through this pretty quickly. You've got the corn,
a little bit of corn,
some tomato. I noticed too you're using garbanzo beans or chickpeas that are a little firmer, you say, and probably a better option here than the kidney beans.
Yeah, a little bit healthier than the canned beans, and actually definitely adds a little bit different texture to it than.
I like it. So we're going to continue to cook this a little bit during the break. So we're sampling. There's a shot of the vegetarian chili that we were making. Yeah. Delicious. You also have a great turkey chili with beans over here. I think the consensus among the early show staff was we like our chili with beans.
We do. Yeah, we do. Love the turkey chili with a little And accent of Schlitz.
And the Schlitz, you got to have the
Or
Schlitz.
the Schlitz.
You know,
Or Natty
toppings
Light.
are so important around the country too. Whether you're in Cincinnati, if you're doing it with everything under the sun, you could have corn chips on there, cheese. What's your favorite topping? Quickly.
I like the rosa poblano sour cream and the jalapeno cornbread.
And
I
they're
was gonna say
delicious.
the
Thank you.
cornbread, delish.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really great.